no introduction. Evidently that's true because there's no one to introduce him. So Brett told me we didn't have a lot of time. I was to introduce him, which seemed like an oxymoron, quite frankly. And as I said to Gordon at his honorarium a couple of weeks ago, and I'll repeat it, I really never had the opportunity to say nice things about people who aren't dead. So therefore, here's Jerry Watson.
Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. I was listening to the students, I'm thinking, I've never been honored for anything academically, so congratulations to all of you. And there's a very good reason I was never honored for anything academically. I really was a very good student. I'm going to speak to you guys for a couple of weeks now, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to talk to you about 20 years of my life in 20 minutes, and I figured I'm going to have to skip a few things. And what I really thought I was going to start out talking about is how I was a young guy and I wanted to be just like my dad. I wanted to grow up and be just like my dad. Then I got to thinking about 3 a.m. this morning that several years ago I was talking to my wife and I said, how am I like my father? Compare me to my father. And Donna says to me, she says, your father is a warm, caring, wonderful, loving human being. And I said, well, what about me? And she said, well, you're a lot like your mom. It must be true. But the part about me that I wanted to be like my dad, my father was a carpenter. I had an uncle who was a plumber, another uncle who was a steam fitter. Pretty much in my neighborhood, everybody worked in the construction trades. I didn't know any attorneys, sorry guys, I didn't know any attorneys growing up. I knew one doctor, that was my doctor. I knew one dentist, that was my dentist. There's no dentists or doctors that anywhere near us. And I'm pretty sure my father invented the school to work program because every summer he would take me to the job and I had to spend a week on the job with him. And I remember being very small, I mean really small, and playing in the sand next to the job trailer with my little toys and people walking in like, what is this kid doing here? And then I finally started working construction jobs when I was about 13. I was the official sod boiler for a couple of years on projects. And I think I made about $10 a day. But, and now I am like my mother. My mother wanted me to go to college. And I had no idea. I wanted to be a construction guy. What am I going to go to college for? So my father came over to work one day and said, hey, I talked to a guy at work, some engineer, and he said, well, if you're good at math, you should be an engineer. I said, okay, I'll be an engineer. So I went to school for engineering, knowing full well that, no offense to the engineers in the room, that I really didn't want to be an engineer. I wanted to train, but I never wanted to work as an engineer. So I got a degree in engineering, and I worked immediately in the construction business. Then I went to work for a company in Baltimore, and I did a couple projects around Baltimore, and then I was assigned to a project in Beckley, West Virginia. Has anybody ever been to Beckley, West Virginia? When I spent about a year of my life, I'm about 23 years old in Beckley, West Virginia. It was very exciting. So I get a call from my father. He calls me up and says, hey, a friend of ours is a realtor. They're listing a property for sale on Reisterstown Road in Knights Mills, Maryland. And he says, I think you ought to buy it. It's going to really be worth some money someday. So I'm a very obedient child. I said, okay, I'll come home and I'll buy it. So I came home, I made an offer on this piece of property, and I bought it. And I got a call a couple of years later from Baltimore County. They said, we want to rezone your land. It's currently zoned R1, and we want to rezone it to B&M. And I said, I don't know what that means. What's that mean? He said, well, currently you can build a house on your land, but if we rezone it to B&M, he says, that's business major. You can put shopping centers, you can put car dealerships, anything you want. I said, well, that sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and rezone it. So we're going to fast forward to 1995. Remember the 1980 situation in buying the land. So it's 1995, and after a couple of years of soul searching, I had a good job. I had a job I liked, working in construction, project manager and estimator. And I came home to my wife and I said, I'm going to quit my job and start my own construction company. And I'm going to quote her exactly, although she says it's not correct. She said, well, if you want to make more money, why don't you just ask for a raise? So I spent a couple of months doing a business plan, which eventually became Keystruct Construction, and we'll be celebrating 20 years anytime now. I think first met the attorney contractor in May of 1995, and we did all the work to set up the company. I'm not going there yet, you can turn back this way. But I needed two things to get started. I needed a line of credit from the bank, and I needed to be able to provide bonding to our customers. That one, not many did, but you had to be able to come to provide bond. And I approached two banks, and they both rejected us. They said, well, we really like your business plan, but we don't really want to finance a new construction company. So I finally ended up at Springfield National Bank in Springfield, Pennsylvania. And the first thing the loan officer said to me is, what do you have for collateral? And I said, well, let's see. I have a house with a mortgage, a car with a car payment, a wife, an 8-year-old son, and a 6-year-old daughter. And they said, well, none of that's going to work. And I said, but I do have this land in Owings Mills, Maryland that I've owned for 15 years. And they said, well, we don't really like the idea of using land from another state for collateral, but with help of the SBA, they agreed to do it. And amazingly enough, the bonding company, and I don't know how this works, but the bonding company also used that piece of land for collateral, and that's how we got started. That's how we got the loan, and that's how we were able to buy bonding. So then we paid off all our debts with the exception of our mortgage, and we cashed in whatever we had as stocks, which wasn't much, to get enough money to start the company. And we started the company in July of 1995. I worked the first 6 months for a salary of $0 per week, and I did get overtime on the weekends. And I didn't even have a car, so I had to go see my father, and I borrowed a car. And after about 6 months, we had employees by then, and the employees said, you're driving around in a 1978 Ford LTD. We're not really looking all that successful. Perhaps you should go buy a car. So I did go out and buy a car. Well, in 1997, I was approached by a gentleman by the name of Tim Harrison. I don't know if you guys remember Harrison and Grass, Mark Grass, who was a Rite Aid. And Harrison and Grass were developers out of Harrisburg, and they were going around building shopping centers. And I got a call from Tim Harrison that says, hey, you own some land in Maryland. We want to build a shopping center at the site where your land is. Mine was right in the middle. There were 3 or 4 properties on either side, and they wanted to acquire all these properties and build a shopping center. And I said, well, I'd love to sell you my land and build a shopping center. So after about a year of negotiation and approvals, they did buy the land, and they did build a shopping center. We didn't take the money for the land. We did a 1031 tax exchange, and we bought 3 properties. We bought the land where our current office is, and we built an office for ourselves. We bought some acreage in Red Line, where we built the end of the Rainbow Daycare Center. And then we bought 8 acres of land in Penn Township, where we built the display and packaging center for GlaxoSmithKline. This all happened about 1998 to 2000. So again, it was good I listened to my father. He was right, that land was worth something someday. So now we're in the construction and real estate business. And if you probably look around and see most construction companies do that in real estate, it's a way to get more work and sort of provide maybe inventory some buildings. So between 1998 and 2008, we did about 20 real estate deals, counting the 3 I already told you about. From 2009 to this year, we did absolutely 0, none. There were no demand, pretty hard to get loans from banks for anything speculative, and really we didn't have a lot of tenants looking for space. We did do 2 so far this year. The first, I'm going to talk about briefly, is the Stanwell Nest building. There's some Stanwell Nest people here. Along with the current owner, we bought into a partnership to purchase the Stanwell Nest building. It's being completely renovated. Stanwell Nest has moved out, and they're moving back in December of this year. So for you Stanwell Nest guys who haven't been out there lately, there's not much left of the inside of the building. The demolition crews are moving pretty quick. The other project, I'm going to spend a bunch of time talking about that, is the Susquehanna Logistics Center, which is a 50-acre site in Glen Rock, Pennsylvania. And so now you can turn. This is the site. This was owned by Frank Larkin. You might remember him. And it was for sale for a number of years. And we approached the Larkin family in 2007. It was listed for sale, but we made them an offer which they accepted in August, I think, of 2007. So just an overview, what we proposed to build here was a 425,000 square foot building. It's sort of been readjusted to 423,300 square feet. It's going to be the pointer away. So that's the building. Here's Interstate 83, and this is Seats Run Road. So when you get off Interstate 83, the Glen Rock exit, that road is called Seats Run Road. This is a piece of research, and this is the PennDot organization right here. And I don't know anything about PennDot. Moving ahead, that was a conceptual rendering of the building, and we now have final plans, and that's pretty much what the building is going to look like. As I said, we decided to buy this building in August of 07. We finally got approval of it on this final plan this year. So we spent about 6 years getting this project approved. The first problem we ran into with the approvals was we met with Township engineer Dave Davidson. We said, this is the plan we want to submit to the township. And it showed an entrance off the Susquehanna Trail South, which we property fronts on. And Dave said, yeah, this looks like a reasonable plan. Let's do a sketch and submit it to the planning commission. We submitted it to the planning commission. They said, well, we don't like your plan. And the reason they didn't like the plan, going back, sorry, wrong way, is the trucks would get off of 83, come down Seats Run Road to a stop sign, turn left, and have to come down Susquehanna Trail. They didn't like the idea of the trucks turning left at the stop sign. So what they asked us to do is to extend this little stuff of the road here is called Second Amendment Drive, to extend Second Amendment Drive to the property. And I said, well, it does make sense from a traffic standpoint, but we don't own that land. It was owned by the PennDot organization. And they said, well, you need to approach the PennDot organization to see if they'll go along with that. And I think it took about a year for us to negotiate with the PennDot organization to build Second Amendment Drive across their land. And actually some people from PennDot here, and they were very accommodating, very easy to work with. The next issue we ran into, we knew there were wetlands on the site. So the site was designed around the wetlands. We weren't touching the wetlands, but they were there, they were a concern. The next is a bog turtle. Has anyone in the room seen a bog turtle? John Luciani's seen a bog turtle. I personally have never seen a bog turtle, but evidently they're on the side of the water, and they only live in wetlands. So we submitted our plan to DEP for approval, and to make a long story short, they said, well, you need to do a bog turtle study. And I said, well, we're not touching the wetlands. Bog turtles only live in wetlands. Why do we need to do a bog turtle study? And they said, well, because we told you you do. And that was the government's official reason for us to do bog turtles. And the other issue with bog turtle studies is bog turtles only come out in May and June, John. So we had to wait until May and June for them to do the bog turtle study, and lo and behold, there weren't any bog turtles. And if there were bog turtles, I don't know that it wouldn't matter because we weren't disturbing the wetlands anyway. And then the study was done, and finally it took another 3 months to get the letter from DEP saying that there were no bog turtles or proving. This wasn't really an issue other than the stream downstream of the site's a high quality trout stream. So your county conservation district reviewed the plans rather vigorously because they didn't want sedimentation going into a high quality trout stream, which is south of the site is privately owned. It's called the Exit 2 Wastewater Treatment Plant. And the effluent from this treatment plant over the years had fallen out of compliance with DEP, so DEP put a consent order on the plant saying that you can't take any more customers. And we went to get our DEP sewer module, and DEP wouldn't grant it because the plant couldn't take the effluent. And we said, well, we don't care. We don't want to build a building now. We just want to get approval of our plan so we can market it to other people. And the township said, no, we won't approve the plan conditionally. You have to have the DEP sewer module. So we ended up getting a job out of this because we ended up upgrading the plant for the existing owners. But this process took about a year. The next issue we ran into was once we got the plan and this is about ready to be approved, we found out that we needed public improvement bonds for the public improvements. Now we knew we were going to need these bonds. We didn't know the size of them. Typically we're used to maybe $100,000, $200,000. Well, the bonds for this project were $1.9 million. So I went to my bonding company and said, we'd like a public improvement bond for $1.9 million. And not unlike the banks back in 1995, they said, no way, we're not doing that. Bonding companies typically don't like to write these kind of bonds because they go on forever. It's not like a performance bond where you have a contract at the end of the contract or over. So the other option we got was that you could provide a letter of credit. So we went to banks to get a letter of credit. And fortunately for us, People's Bank agreed to provide us with letters of credit for both Springfield Township and PennDot. The final issue we had wasn't an approval issue, but when the market changed and now people are more interested in this project, the potential buyers said, we want you to have LERTA. LERTA is Local Economic Revitalization Tax Assistance. It's basically a 10-year phase-in tax. And Springfield Township had never been asked to provide for LERTA and did not have a LERTA ordinance. So we're going to talk more about LERTA later. But so that became a requirement to sell this land because we had to get LERTA. So here's the timeline. We started in August of 2007. Finally, after meeting with the planning commission and changing the plan, we submitted the plan on September 10th of 2008. One thing we did that we've never done before, usually we don't close on the land until we have municipal approvals. In this case, Mr. Larkin had passed away, and the family was trying to settle the estate. They asked if we would close on the property. And I said, we felt at that time we were pretty close to getting all our approvals, and we agreed to close on the property. And there's another thing I was wrong about, this we then worked for another 5 years to get the rest of the approvals. So you got conservation approval. We reached an agreement with PennDot on construction of Susquehanna Drive. We did the bog turtle study. Got our U.S. Fish and Wildlife approval about the bog turtle study, DEP approval, Township approval, PennDot approval, and finally recorded the land development plan in February of 2013. Then in markets changing, people were wanting to build these buildings. Now there was really no demand for a number of years. So in 2014, we reached agreement with a group out of Atlanta called Ridgeline Property Group to sell this land to Ridgeline Property Group. Then we got our LERTA approvals. Springfield Township had to be first. We enlisted Steve Hollis of Stock and Leader to help us get this LERTA, to draft the LERTA ordinance. We presented it to Springfield Township, and their solicitor, John Miller, did some tweaking, and it was finally approved. Dallas Town School District approved it 2 days later, and the county approved it about 3 weeks later. And I must say, I attended the Springfield Township meeting. Someone else from our organization was at the county. We did not go to the Dallas Town School Board meeting, but as far as I know, the LERTA was approved about 2 weeks after closing, we began work on the project. So we're going to be doing site work there until June, so another couple of weeks, at which time the pad site should be ready and we should start doing foundations for the building. So a lot of people want to know why are all these distribution centers popping up? Why are they so popular in central Pennsylvania? Well, they say that Jesse James, they ask him why do you rob banks, he says because that's where the money is. Well, people want distribution centers somewhere near here because that's where the people are. I'm told that within 24 hours of central PA, New York, Harrisburg, that you can reach 50% of the U.S. population plus part of Canada. So that outer ring, I know this is hard to see, it's 300 miles. So within 300 miles from our site, you can be up into Maine and down into North Carolina. So that's the main reason people want to be in this area. They also look at access to FedEx. See, this is a FedEx map. The red is 1 day service, blue is 2 days. So if you want to send a package to get FedEx, you can be in Arkansas in 2 days. Similar with UPS. There's distances to major cities. The other thing these developers are looking for is access to rail. We have rail access here, and another very important one for our site in particular is access to the Port of Baltimore. We're the closest site in Pennsylvania currently under construction that has access to the Port of Baltimore. And the reason Pennsylvania is attractive over Maryland is the cost is lower here. Rental rates here run about 20–25% less than they would at a similar facility in Maryland. Why are they building now when none of these have been built for years? Well, because none of them have been built for years, the vacancy rates are very low. So there's not a lot of product available. And a lot of the ones that have been built lately have been customer specific. So like Amazon built one and there are others. So and this is from the third quarter of last year. But vacancy rate in Central PA was 5.4% for Class A distribution centers. Class A is typically concrete walls, rubber roof, 32-foot minimum clear, and cross-dock, which is doors on both sides. And if I had to guess, unless the new product has raised these vacancy rates, the rates are actually lower now than they were the third quarter last year. Why are investors looking at these products? Why does a company, a real estate investment trust from Boston, Massachusetts, want to purchase a distribution center in York County, Pennsylvania? These are the capitalization rates that these buildings are selling for. And as you can see, these are ones from last year. The cap rates have been as low as 5.78%, as high as 6.92% for comparable sales. These are historically, in my opinion, very low rates. I would expect these rates to be in the 8–9% range, which means now people have a lot of money. They don't really know what to do with it. So they're looking at Class A investments, and they're figuring that these are going to be good investments and are willing to accept a lower rate of return. So the final piece of the puzzle was LERTA, Local Economic Revitalization Tax Assistance. Our property was assessed at $228,430, and for a number of years we've been paying roughly $6,232 a year in total taxes. The bulk of it going to Dallas School District, and Springfield Township has reaped the enormous benefit of $114 a year in taxes for probably the last 50 years. Now, once this facility is constructed, we're estimating that the assessed value of the property will be $12,750,000. That's not what it cost to build it. That's what we think that will rates in that assessment, this building will generate $347,820 worth of taxes, with the bulk of it going to Dallastown Area School District. And I might add that we have no homes, no students, not one additional student will go to Dallastown, and they'll get $283,000 worth of taxes. What LERTA does is it phases in the taxes over 10 years. So, and that's one of the improvements. So we're estimating that next year, this building will pay $70,000 in taxes. Whereas last year, it was $6,000. So it's a tenfold increase, even, okay? And it goes up 10% a year till eventually in 2026, they'll be paying $348,000 a year in taxes. So over a 10-year period, if we didn't do the project, we'd be paying $62,000 in taxes. And even with LERTA, we would be paying $2.3 million in taxes. Now, I guess I could point out that without LERTA, we'd be paying $3.5 million in taxes. Not us, not Catholic. One thing the county was very interested in is will this project create jobs? And we don't know how many jobs it's going to create because we don't know who's going to use it. And we don't know how much water it's going to use. Jeff asked me earlier. Because we don't know who the end user is going to be. But based upon the number of doors and the average truck traffic that's expected, we anticipate that there are going to be 50 to 100 new jobs created because of this facility. And I did want to thank some people. I think the top one was Funny Farm Investors. I was talking to Frank Larkin's daughter, Linda, and I hear her in the background saying, "Hey, go get that file about the Funny Farm." And I said, what are you talking about? She says, "Well, Dad always called that his Funny Farm." So we named our group the Funny Farm Investors. So that's what we purchased the land under as Funny Farm Investors. So there were 4 other investors besides me who purchased the land and eventually sold it. I'd like to thank Springfield Township. We were their constant friends for 6 years. I don't know how many township meetings we attended, but almost as many as they did. We sat in the front row. We were on a first name basis, and it was the 3 supervisors, Dave Davidson from CS Davidson and John Miller. And it's like, "Hey Dave, can you hand me a pencil so I can sign it?" It's very cordial. I think they were really glad to see us go. But, the Dallastown School District, they were very supportive. We met with them prior to requesting the LERTA, saying, if we apply for this, you guys supported it, they overwhelmingly supported it. Your county commissioners voted to approve the project unanimously. People's Bank for their help with the letters of credit, Larry Miller, Ken Petterman. We couldn't have gotten the approvals without it. We worked with the YCEA, with Darrell Alderson, Vanessa Hansen,